Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of I Think I'm Human Too. I'm up close and personal, so if you're watching on YouTube, I'm so sorry. I'm trying a new way of sitting closer to the camera. This week's episode, I want to talk about who I am. And I know that sounds so silly, and you're like, Catherine, shut the fuck up. We follow you on TikTok, we follow you on Instagram. We're sick of you. Honestly, I feel like there's so many of you guys who feel like you really truly know who I am, and that's always been the whole point in what I've wanted to what I've always wanted my content to feel like is literally we're on FaceTimes. And when people comment, I feel like I'm on FaceTime with my best friend. That truly is the thing that hits my heart the absolute most. But a couple of days ago, I had posted on Instagram, and if you've followed me for quite some time, you know I'm a bargain queen. I love me some Amazon. I love me a good price point for a good quality. I've never been the girl that had to have high end. I've never had to have designer. Do I love them? Do I think they're beautiful? Yes. Do I appreciate their beauty? Yeah. But I've never been the girl that's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to not have this so I can buy a new Louis bag. To each their own, but that's just never been me. And I've always found a good alternative option. I've loved to be that page on Instagram where I can share, okay, yeah, I found I love Bottega right now. Bottega is beautiful, but $7,000 for a purse is literally fucking crazy. But there's Bottega dupes on Amazon. And I know it's kind of fucked up because there's, what is it called? Replicas are wrong, claiming to be the brand and such. But there's beautiful woven bags on Amazon that are lookalikes. They're inspiration from Bottega. That's not wrong to do. The other day, I got sent some clothes from Free People, and Free People's known to be a little bit on the pricier side. And there's a ton of places that will make an outfit in from inspiration from a brand. Anyways, where am I going with this? So I posted the Free People set, even though I'm known for doing dupes online or hey, this is a lookalike, whatever. And someone had messaged me and said, does this mean that you're no longer going to do dupes because a brand sent me the real thing? And I said, absolutely not. If anything, this is better on my behalf because now I get to actually compare side by side the real quality. And then two, for people who don't care about dupes and they really do want the real thing, I'm also able to give an honest review there. And then it started to really dig in my brain of do you guys even really know who we are? No, because every person that I follow and every influencer I follow or content creator, do I even really know who they are? I feel like I do. I feel like if I went to meet them in person, I would know enough about them to have a conversation. Absolutely. But I only know the surface level of what they've shared with me. And granted, on my socials, you do get a deeper version of me. I'm very real, very raw, very vulnerable. But I'm you guys don't know the shit that I've been through to be this way and why I'm this way. So I kind of want to dive in a little bit there. And things that I've learned in therapy along the way that have helped me understand why I am who I am. And the life experiences and really understanding them, especially now as a grown adult. And my mom's always said that I was here before. My mom has a true belief in her heart that I have an old soul and I just understood things from a very early age. And I will say, I've always been the girly. Granted, I've always been through times too where a young girl is jealous or spiteful or angry or emotional. We all are, not just young girls, but I went through that phase too every once in a while, but a lot of what I went through, I was actually truly appreciative of. As a young child, always. I had two older step-siblings that were always in and out of jail, messing with drugs, just really walking on thin ice with the police, with our parents, with school. It was just always, I don't know. And I remember being asked, I'm sorry that those are your step siblings. Are you upset about that? And I was honestly, I'm so appreciative of them because they've lived so many lessons and I had to watch them firsthand and I refused to ever do them because I watched it and I watched how quickly things could go south and I watched how quickly you could get into muddy waters. I watched everything unfold without me having to be the person to go through it. So I've always taken every life experience almost with a grain of salt and taken it and used it as a life lesson versus, oh my God, life is once again just getting me or whatever the case may be. And so again, back into the mindset of dupes and designer, if I'm talking in that sense, I was raised very poor. My parents had split up. My mom didn't really have like a career when she moved us back down to Florida. She worked with her parents at her parents' job, and then got into like the tech industry when tech was just starting out. That's how she met my stepdad. And then pursued her career through there and ended up becoming a very high level project manager. But back in the day, she had nothing. I remember vividly, like it was yesterday, my mom working 3 jobs, almost 20 hours a day. It was craziness every single day. She would wake up and go to her corporate job, which was in the tech industry. Then she would go from there to her parents' business, help them out for some extra cash. She would come home, she would change some nights, not every night, but then she would go and manage a grocery store. And some people say, like, what the hell does this have anything to do with who you are today? Well, because back then, my mom couldn't afford to have us in Abercrombie, Aeropostale, Hollister. We couldn't afford that. I remember, again, like it was yesterday, I outgrew my Nike Shox I outgrew my tennis shoes, and Nike Shox were like the fad. And I really wanted Nike Shox, but I knew my parents could not even afford new tennis shoes, much less could they afford the $100 Nike Shox. There was no way. And I remember my feet hurt so bad in the tennis shoes that I was wearing because my toes were so scrunched up in them, but I just couldn't tell my mom because I felt so bad that she would need to buy me new shoes. Anyways, so a couple of weeks goes past, and I want to say my mom noticed that my shoes hurt, or I said something. I don't remember that, but I remember going not to Dick's. Was it Dick's? What was the other one? Sports Authority. And there was a pair of Nike Shox on sale for $30. That was a steal of a deal back then. My mom ended up buying them for me. I didn't feel as bad because I knew that they were super like on sale, but I got home and my stepsister said to me, "Of course you got those, like you spoiled brat," because they were name brand, they were the fad. And I took that truly to heart. Like I still to this day, sometimes I think of that, of like, does a designer brand, in my head I'm like, designer brand means I'm a spoiled brat. Like that is truly what I've been raised with in my head over and over and over again. And I want to say that was like 2nd or 3rd grade, maybe even younger. And I always think that now. And my mom's always taught me, like, you don't have to be an Abercrombie and Fitch. You don't have to be wearing Hollister or Aeropostale to fit in. Nobody knows the tag on your shirt. But back in the day, I grew up in the era where like everything was plastered across your titties and your ass. Like it said Juicy everywhere. It said, Roxy. Like everything said their name so bright. So I'm like, yeah, mom, that could have been like your motto back in the day, but like it's not for me. People are like, wait, where's your logo? Because I literally grew up in the logo era. And my mom just kept burning it into me. Like, you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have that. Like, I remember I literally had every single thing store brand. I never had a name brand. Like, I mean, Oreos, cereal, like that's if we even got those. I'm just throwing out random names. Everything, even down to like the colored pencils. I never had Crayola. I had Kmart. Like whatever Kmart's brand was back in the day, that's what I had. And the older I've gotten, I've truly learned lessons, and I truly, truly appreciate that. If I could go back and pray in another lifetime that my mom never had to struggle that way, absolutely. But I'm also so appreciative of her suffering because it taught me such appreciation for the small things. It taught me nobody really gives a fuck about what colored pencils you have. It's, are you an asshole and are you going to share them or not? Like, those are things that I learned in the 3rd grade when people are learning those at 23. So, or never. Like, some people are just out there being assholes and never sharing because they don't know what it was like to not have. And they never learned that like caring is kind and kind is caring and whatever the case. So I just look back at so many moments. I had a type 1 diabetic brother growing up. We weren't allowed to have sugars or carbs in the house. As a kid, that was tough. It was weird because friends would come to school with Gushers and Go-Gurts. And I'm like, my parents would never. We couldn't have cheeses in the house. We couldn't have a ton of dairy in the house. We couldn't have like certain things because they had so many carbs. And as kids, my brother didn't understand that. And I sure as shit didn't understand why he had a disease and I couldn't have it because of his disease. And now as an adult, I'm not addicted to sugar. I'm so grateful because you know how many people are out there that are trying day in and day out to cut a soda out of their diet or granted, I am addicted to desserts, but I've started that later in my lifetime, just within like the last year. I just love desserts now. But I grew up without an addiction to the sweet. Grew up without an addiction to the sugar, and I'm appreciative now. I'm like, dang, like I'm not having to wean myself off like other people do. Every single thing comes down to mindset, truly. And they say like, you know, like when you're watching a horror movie and the sound is on and it's really dark in the house and you're terrified and you're sitting there shaking in your boots. But if you mute it, you turn the lights on and you're just watching just the screen, you're literally like, oh, whatever. It is all your perception. And you get to decide if you want to be scared or not. You get to decide if you want to watch that movie on mute with the lights on. You get to decide if you want to be scared. And I just think that that's such a beautiful thing. There are so many things in my lifetime that I've gone through. Like I was in therapy for quite some time, actually up until we left Texas. And I was explaining to her, I had just said like my ADHD just goes crazy in the grocery store and like I just buy everything and I won't structure meal. I don't know why we were talking about food, but we were talking about how food can affect you. And I was just like, I need to start structuring out my meals. I just go to the grocery store and buy everything. I just get so overwhelmed and hungry, I guess. And we were able to dig deep down and find out it wasn't actually that. It's not the fact that I can't make a grocery list. It's that I truly felt in my lifetime that I didn't have enough food in my house. And now I never want to feel that way again. So I overcompensate by buying the grocery store every week. I do it every week. It's still something I'm working on. It's something I acknowledge, but I'm still working on. And it's so crazy that that boils down to childhood and things of thinking like, oh, well, I don't have this in the house, because there were times where truly all we would eat were like mac and cheese with peas. My mom was always tried to be very good and get us a full protein, a protein, a carb, and a vegetable. And there was many nights for years, literally years, where it would be chicken, rice, and broccoli or green beans, which granted, that's still fulfilling. That's still nutritious. It's getting us what we needed. But damn, I look back and I'm like, damn, I can't even imagine what it felt like to be my mom and what it felt like to have these kids looking at you like, but can we have, I don't know, a fancy cake for dessert? I don't know. Or can we have the $100 tennis shoes? I don't know what it was like to be a mom and in that situation thinking, I want so badly to give that to my kids, but I can't. And I'm just now teaching my mom so much where I'm like, Mom, a lot of it's your mindset. Like restructure your mindset every single day. Scarcity is crazy. And our parents taught us scarcity like they taught us our fucking first, middle, and last name and social security number. Like scarcity was all I knew as a child. It's all I was around, even with my rich friends. Like scarcity was such a mindset. And it's so real, but it's so debilitating and very quick. Element is giving Human 2 listeners a free drink pack with any purchase on their site. I wanted to share with you guys Element. I've shared with you them multiple times before. Here in Texas, we are getting hit with a big heat wave, and everyone in Texas just says that it's not even started yet. So love that for us. It's 100 degrees out. It's humid. It's exhausting. And it is so unbelievably dehydrating. I had to come home the other day. I was so nauseous. I literally felt like I was going to throw up or pass out. And it was all due to dehydration. Even though I'm still pumping water through me, that's not helping. I'm not getting the electrolytes that I need. And that's why I literally came home. Raphael threw an Element pack in a water for me and was like, you need to drink up. You have to be doing them every day, especially when you live in a state like this. So I love that they have a code for Human 2 listeners. Again, you will get a free sample pack with any purchase on drinkelement.com/human2. So that is drinklmnt.com/human2. I remember like even in times where we had a little bit more money as kids, my stepdad would be he had such a scarce mindset. No matter what, we could have $1 million in the bank and he would still be like, but I'm going to lose it all, because that's what his mindset was. And to me, that was another learning lesson where it's like, I'm happy that they had that mindset. Does it suck? Because I feel like I could have been more knowledgeable long-term in finances if my parents knew. Absolutely. But they didn't know. So I'm not going to hold it against them. Again, I don't know what it was like to be them at that time in their life with children. Shit, I'm older than what my mom was when she had both of her kids, and I still couldn't imagine a child. So how could she be doing it just praying to all gods? Anyways. So the scarcity mindset is another thing where I'm like, I honestly really appreciated that, watching it firsthand, because here's the thing. If you're going to be broke, why be scarce? In the sense of, if I'm already like, I'm trying to think of the right word to say, like when I let go of the scarcity mindset and I was just like, you know what? I've always got myself. I've literally gotten myself here every single time. I felt like I was going to fail a trillion times in one. And here I am, later down the road, still being like, damn, I didn't fail. So why do I keep worrying and stressing and having a scarcity mindset each and every single day if I've been able to get myself to here? And why keep holding on to that? It's literally like stressing and worrying, and then sometimes it never even happens. So it's like, why was I stressed and worried? I missed out on all those moments where I could have just been enjoying life. And it's been hard to let go. Again, obviously I'm still to this day learning to let go of the scarcity mindset, but I definitely have a lot more ease with it, because again, I'm like, if I'm broke, I'm fucking broke. Why stress about it? Like, start thinking out of the box. Stop worrying and be like, okay, well, like I remember the nights that I literally was going to bed hungry, and this is when I would live in my apartment. I would literally go to bed and I would be upset at myself, because I'd be like, damn, Kat, like we gotta do better. But I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't hate on myself. I wouldn't be like, you're an idiot. Like, how could you let this happen? I didn't have that scarcity mindset. I just kept believing like, it's going to be all right. We're going to figure this out. We figured it out every single day up until now. We're going to figure it out tomorrow. And every single night I went to bed like that. And one day I woke up and I figured it out. I don't know how. I don't know when. It just happened over the course of time. And it all was just the mindset of like, I'm going to figure it out, because I always have. And now I've married a man who's shown up and been my other half, in the sense of where I don't feel like I'm like, dang, I'm all I got, I'll figure it out. Like, we figure it out together. I no longer have to be that strong, independent girly that's always got to figure it the fuck out. Like, he's literally the answer to all the things that I've prayed for. But again, I had to go through all those hardships to have a list of a perfect man. And for that perfect man to show up in the form of my husband, who loves me and wants to be with me just as much as I love him and want to be with him, we had to go through some shit to mesh to get there. So I let go of the scarcity mindset. I let go of the mindset of fuck the world. I hate the family that I was born into. I'm a product of my environment. This fucking sucks. Yeah, does it? Absolutely. There are so many days where I'm like, do I wish I had the picture perfect, beautiful life childhood? Absolutely. But I didn't. So let it go. Move on. It's my choice, and it's up to me to every single day make a difference in my own life. And also, like, my mom loves to hunt, right? She literally loves to get a gun and go out there and hunt a deer. To me, hell fucking no. So if my life was up to my mother, I sure as shit would not be living a life that I wanted to live. It's not up to my mother to dictate my life. I would be out there with a bow and arrow and a dead deer. Do I want to be doing that? No. So why would I want to blame her? And why would I want her to continue to rule my life and tell me what to do and make sure all is well? Well, because then that's not your life. You're living the life that your parents set out for you. I know I've rambled and this has been like one long just thing, but I really, really believe that every single thing in life is mindset. I have said this in probably 20 plus episodes at this point. And I know it sounds so cliche, because there's moments where your dad dies in your arms and you say, what the fuck good is coming from this? Are we kidding? I know all the nights that I sat there terrified I was going to wake up to go to work in the morning and my car was repossessed. If you were to tell me back then, it's fine, just change your mindset around it. It'll be okay. I would tell you to fuck all the way off. But like I've said, if you were to sit back and be like, tomorrow might be a shitty day, so now I'm going to waste all my rest of my evening tonight worrying about tomorrow, and then I wake up and tomorrow was a wonderful day, how many hours today did I waste stressing about tomorrow? Well, that sucks. So I wasted last night. Also, say tonight I spend the next 5 hours wallowing that tomorrow's going to suck, stressing on it, and I wake up and tomorrow does suck. Sure as shit it sucks. All right, well, let it suck. You also lost out on 5 hours last night to have a sucky night. So let it go. I've been reading so many different books, and I'm a self-help book girly through and through, but I enjoy self-help books that like, what's the right word? Like they acknowledge what's wrong, but then they also give you steps of what to change. And that's huge because there's so many self-help books that are like, acknowledge what's wrong. Here's how to acknowledge it. All right, do you acknowledge it? All right, cool. Good luck. And it's like, okay, but how do I move forward now that I've acknowledged? What's my first step? Anyway, so I was reading this book. I completely lost the train of thought. I literally just read it today. Damn, you guys, what the hell? I'm reading this book and it's called How to Heal Your Life. And why I like it is because, oh my God, why I like it is because it gives you the next steps on how to move forward. So if you're in a constant negative mindset, here's something that truly changed my life on the day-to-day, and it genuinely does take an effort because of how accustomed we are to society and addiction to our telephones. So every single morning, okay, your alarm goes off, you hit done, sit there and literally in your head with your eyes closed, just continue to sit there. Name things you're grateful for every single day. I'm so grateful, 1, that I just woke up. 2, that my alarm stayed on because sometimes alarms go off. I'm grateful that I have a job to go to, even though it's not necessarily the most amazing job that I love, but we'll get there one day. 3, I'm grateful for a car to get me to work, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But it literally only needs to be like 30 seconds before you actually get up. Then I've talked about Mel Robbins, and Mel Robbins says that like the first part of your day, if you break up your morning or your day into 5 sections, the first part of your morning should really truly only be about you. Whether that means you have to wake up another 30 minutes earlier or even 20 minutes earlier, to just give that little bit of you time every single day. And that I truly mean you hit off on your alarm and you do not look at your phone. Say you normally wake up at 7:30 and now you set your alarms to wake up at 7. Do not touch your phone until that 7:30 mark when you would normally. Give yourself a full undivided attention. Why is it that we give so many other people in this world full undivided attention each and every day? Shit, you go to work and you sit through a 3-hour meeting. Full undivided attention to your boss who literally is going to be in Puerto Rico next week and is dumping a ton of shit on your plate, and you're fully undivided because you know that you now have multiple hours of worth of work to do, right? Why can you not give yourself that 30 minutes in the morning before the world starts, before other things just get into your brain and you're again in the scarcity mindset, you're in the stressed mindset? I kind of consider scarcity and stress the same. And I'm not sitting here saying by any fucking means like I'm this wealthy ass person, but the definition of wealth is situational to each and of their own. My definition of wealth is to be able to do this as my job, filming up Monday night at 5 p.m. I'm not driving home from my 9 to 5 right now, wondering what I got to do for dinner. And like, I'm so wealthy in the fact that this is my life and I truly enjoy what I do for work. That's my definition of wealth. But again, going back into mindset of your definition of wealth might be $2 million sitting in your account. You're wealthy. Okay. Well, to me, I'm so grateful that I have 3 healthy dogs and a healthy husband. I'm healthy. We work out every day. We enjoy our time together as a family. We eat healthy. That is so wealth to me because I've sat at multiple tables where it was scarce food, cheap box food. Like it's just a mindset, to each their own. But going back into like how you can start to change your mindset, spending the time in the morning is very important. This is a huge one, not taking criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from. And I don't know if it's just me, but I wouldn't take advice from a lot of people. I'm pretty anal who I call when I need some shit. It's going to be my mom, my best friend, and my husband. And anybody past those 3 people that are critiquing me, I really don't care too much, because if I was really bad or if it was really a problem, one of those 3 motherfuckers would have told me already, okay? So a random person on the internet, I don't want them to affect my mindset. They don't pay my bills. They don't, it shouldn't matter. Like, we got bigger fish to fry than Shirley Temple on the internet. Not Shirley Temple, not that being a drink. Noticing what triggers you. I mean, that's a real thing. I have a friend who gets triggered around their family, but never when they go around other people's family. And so I had said to that friend's spouse, I said, every time you're going somewhere in the car, ask your spouse, how do you feel? How do you feel? And they said, okay, well, why? And I said, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, I feel good. I'm excited to go, blah, 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 blah. And then that one time out of 10, when they're going to their family's house, they're going to realize in their gut, oh, I actually don't really feel that great. Acknowledging where these triggers are coming from. That's huge in your mindset, because when you understand what's setting you off, boundaries quickly follow. There's so many times in my past where I didn't know what was triggering me. I didn't know what was pissing me off. I didn't know why I hated being around this one person, because I didn't realize it was one person. I thought I was just in a bad mood. But I didn't realize it was that one person, and how much happier I am now not being quote unquote a people pleaser. I don't need to show up if I'm going to shit on your parade. Does it suck that you don't want, or that you want me there and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to come because it really fucks up my day? Like, I'm just going to be an asshole. Yeah, I'm sure they're probably like, well, why can't you just turn that off for me and just deal with it? I don't know. Obviously, that sounds like work is different. Like, you got to go to work. You got to show up. There was so many days I was triggered there. But when you recognize your triggers, you can change your mindset of like, I don't have to go. I want to set boundaries and say, for example, like what might be triggering me is my best friend's boyfriend, right? And he's a dickhead. I hate him. He just pisses me off. Anytime he's around, I just want nothing to do with him. I want to leave. And your friend's like, but now I can never hang out with you because you hate my boyfriend. Well, for me and you to continue this relationship and for you to get the same friend that you want and deserve, I can't be around your man. It is what it is. Obviously, these are all different things, but you can also acknowledge that and say, you know, this is so bad for my mental health watching you go through this each and every day. I can't do it anymore. Those are things that help change your mindset. Affirmations, talking to yourself every single day in just a nice way. It changes your life. It changes your life. There's still things that I want done on my face in the sense of like, oh yeah, I want to keep up Botox. So like when I wrinkle my forehead and I see a wrinkle, I'm like, damn. Because that's just real. It is what it is. But am I beautiful still with or without that wrinkle? Absolutely. So if you sit there and you look at your face every single day and you say in the mirror, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am kind, I am accepted, I am loved, I am respected, I am successful. Whatever comes to mind for you, say it 3 times over. Say it in the mirror every single day when you're brushing your hair. Speaking to yourself is rewiring your brain to have a different mindset, slowly but surely. And how do you hate on somebody after you just told them, I love you? I love every single piece of you. I accept you for who you are. And then you were to be like, but also your hair is ugly. Like, you wouldn't say that to a stranger. And if you really talked, like, for example, when I'm talking to Raphael and I'm like, babe, I just love you so much. I truly just love you so much. Yeah, if I'm joking, like, I can mess with him and be like, but also your ass crack is out. Like, he. But I would never follow it up with like, babe, I love you so much. I also just hate your earlobes. I wouldn't say that. Like, that's not my follow-up. So why do I follow myself up like that? You wouldn't. You genuinely can't look at the mirror and be like, Catherine, I just love you so much and I really appreciate you getting us here today. But also you're not fucking successful. It's like, no. So the more you just start with that of like, I love you and I accept you for who you are and where you are in this moment. Literally say that directly to your mirror. And then you'll start to love more of what's in this moment. If we're constantly like, oh, damn, we got to get here. We got to do this. We got to plan for this. That's 5 months out in advance. We're going to miss the next 5 months of life. And we're going to beat ourselves up for the next 5 months of life, praying to God that 5 months down the road, whatever event we were doing or throwing goes perfectly. We're going to stress the next 5 months. Instead, I can say, I'm so excited for our event coming up. I'm so proud of you for planning this. Keep going. And I can't wait for this party. The next 5 months, I'm literally going to be so excited party planning. I'm going to be less stressed and I'm going to show up 5 months down the road ready to have a great fucking time. I know I've rambled. I've said so much. I don't know if it's been a little or a lot of nothingness to you, but I hope you take something from it. I hope you take something from this episode and you just say to yourself, we've got this. We all come from somewhere. We all, like, nobody woke up. Well, some people in the world, but nobody woke up one day and was just a billionaire with absolutely no problems in the world. Everybody's got a problem. Everybody's got a past. Everybody's got a dream. And just understanding that we are responsible for our own path in life and really just, again, changing the mindset, getting out of the mindset that everything sucks and it's my parents' responsibility to fix it all. And just start appreciating life as it comes, even through the hardships, because it makes the top of the mountain so much more beautiful. I'll see you guys next week. I love you so much. Goodbye.